Alright, welcome to another unboxing video. So for this video, we are going to be unboxing Akaza from Kimetsu no Yaiba, or Demon Slayer. And he was made by Bandai, part of their Figuarts Zero line. He stands about 7 inches tall. And for this figure, I bought him off of AmiAmi.com. I got the payment request on March 28th. I paid for him on the same day on March 28th. He shipped out a couple of days later on March 30th. I ended up receiving him on April 4th. So it took about 1 week for me to receive him. He cost 5,940 yen, which comes out roughly to be a little bit above 48 bucks. I used DHL shipping, which was a little bit lower than EMS shipping at 3,372 yen, which comes out about $27. Altogether cost 9,312 yen, which comes out to be roughly 76 bucks. I actually paid for him with my BlockFi card. He cost $76.85. So this Akaza figure, he actually came out, his official release date was March 26th. And the Rengoku figure came out the month before it. The release time is supposed to coincide kind of with each other. If you look at that Rengoku figure, if you guys haven't yet, check out my other video with that Rengoku Figuarts Zero figure. This Akaza figure is supposed to kind of come together with that Rengoku figure. So I'm pretty happy and ecstatic to have him right now. And before I start unboxing this, please like the video, please subscribe to the channel. And once again, I want to say thank you to all the people that have been leaving nice comments, asking questions, that type of thing. I do my best to try to answer these. And if not, hopefully I could point you in a direction that might help you. And also, check out my blog at otakusen.com. I do the figure reviews there as well. There's going to be more pictures there. And anything I miss in the videos, it will be on that blog. And also on that blog, I cover anime. So Attack on Titan Part 2 just finished. So I got a few blog posts about that. And I'm excited to finally do reviews for the new season of the Rising of the Shield Hero Season 2. So look out for that. And once again, if you guys haven't, please check out that Rengoku Figuarts Zero figure. Go ahead, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let's go ahead and unbox this. And yeah guys, this is my first time receiving an AmiAmi 80 size box. It's the smallest box that I've received for them. Usually when you buy like one scale figure, it'd be a 120 size box. But the Figuarts Zero figures and the boxes tend to be a bit smaller than your 1/8 scale figures. So because it's smaller, it's a lot cheaper for shipping. And so it is still pretty worth it to and still pay fast shipping. So let's go ahead and unbox this. Right here we have the AmiAmi thank you card. Even for the 80 size box, they still pack it pretty good. Alright, so first impressions with the box. It looks just like the Rengoku box. Very, very similar compared to the Rengoku box. It looks like this is a little bit more shown, a little bit more traditional, where the opening is up like on top, where it's supposed to be. Like the Rengoku box, obviously you're gonna have the picture of the dang figure on the Rengoku figure. You have the image of the Rengoku figure here. On the other one, you had an image with the Akaza on that box. So I have both of them. I'm pretty excited about opening this one. Everything about it, you know, Bandai does a good job. The Figuarts Zero, their boxes are really, really solid overall. And here, I couldn't think of the word. I kept thinking like celebratory, a celebration. Confetti, guys. Confetti was the word I was looking for. So here you kind of have the confetti on the box along with the cutouts. And yeah, I do enjoy their packaging and their boxing. It looks good. The clean colors, blue versus red, you know, the old trope, Bloods versus Crips, right? So let's go ahead and just open this. And here at the top of the box, you have the tape on the sides and the tape at the top. Inside the box, there isn't any real design, just blue. Like any other box, you have tape around the side, so let's go ahead and cut the tape off. Here you just have the shrink wrap that's on him. And then what you notice, like they left his head kind of open. They left his head kind of like exposed right here. So that's the only thing that I noticed about this shrink wrapping. Alright guys, let's talk about this figure. Yeah, let me reiterate, I bought him for 5,940 yen, which comes out to be around 48 bucks. DHL shipping, about a week for him to arrive at 3,372 yen, which comes out to be a little bit above 27 bucks. In total, I actually end up paying $76.85. If you guys are gonna buy him from a US retail store, you're probably gonna be paying around 82 bucks, give or take. You know, add in shipping or tax, or let's say you put him in a bigger order, you might be able to get a discount code. So you're roughly gonna pay, if you even pay with DHL or EMS shipping from overseas to get him in, you're gonna be paying relatively pretty close to the same price, give or take a few bucks here and there. But yeah, I'm someone that wants him early. So, and he still comes at a really good price, even a little bit cheaper with that DHL shipping. So yeah, to me, it's a no-brainer for me to buy him off AmiAmi, HobbyLink Japan, Hobby Search, or whatever other Japanese website you guys want to use. His price, it's a good one. You guys want added special effects to your figures. The Figure Arts Zero is that line of figures that you're gonna look to first. And yeah, just like that Rengoku figure, in general and overall, he looks good. And I've looked through a lot of Akaza figures online. There is quite a few figures. There's some scale figures that's coming out. This the compass needle one from Aniplex, but he looks really basic. So a design like this for Akaza, this is a really top-notch design. And if you just look at his base, there's a lot going on with this figure. There's a lot going on with him in general. And if you look at his face, it's that, you know, having fun martial artist kind of face where he's fighting Rengoku. So this is the kind of face, the kind of pose, the fun, having fun kind of pose fighting your opponent. That is, that it really encapsulates this character, Akaza. So yeah, Upper 3 Demon, I'm pretty darn happy with him. He is, I guess we'll have to go deeper into the series, but I do really like this character. I haven't decided which one is quite my favorite out of all the Upper Demons, but he's definitely top 2. He's up there for sure, and he has a really good backstory. I read the whole manga. You guys are gonna totally love when they end up fighting against him again. You guys are gonna love it. You know, bet that 100%. You guys are gonna enjoy that. But yeah, his overall design, awesome, impeccable design. I just can't believe like Aniplex couldn't pick a better design for the 1/8 scale. Like I just don't get it. They picked a really they picked the compass needle one, which is like to me that's probably his most iconic move, because that's like the very first move after he uses that little punching air thing. So that move, that compass needle move, is a really good one to pick. I just wish that they were able to build something around it, you know, like add the rocks formations or something around that compass needle. So, you know, I'm complaining a lot about that figure because that would be a scale figure that I would want. But instead, I have to settle for this Figure Art 01 because I just enjoy it. What's happening with it a lot more is way more dynamic. I know I overused the word dynamic, but just look at it, man. Just look at this figure. There's just so much going on. It all makes sense. One thing that there is to note about the figures, there's a lot of pieces and a lot of parts about him that can be pretty fragile. If you look around like his waist, like his belt, I don't know what to call it for sure, but the kind of belt parts where bristles, I guess what's it supposed to represent right here. They're pretty fragile, so just be a little bit careful when you're picking him up. And the little spikes on his base. When you're grabbing anywhere around his base, you're going to be grabbing, you know, obviously you want to hold it underneath, right? But your thumbs, your index fingers, they could get caught up in his the little spikes, the little purple, teal color spikes. Just be very, very careful when you're holding him. And another part that I noticed is kind of fragile is just around his fists. This little formation is kind of building around his arm, so just be a little bit careful around there. But other than that, overall, I love the design. But let's get to the one thing that, you know, for these kind of figures for this price, you're just going to run into this problem, and that problem is the paint. The paint job, it's always, I don't know. You guys are just going to have to accept that when you buy a Figuarts Zero figure, or if you're going to buy anything under $100, you can't expect the painting to be, you know, that good. From afar, like, because like the Rengoku figure, because he's red, those flames, there's a big contrast between the red, the yellow, and then to the white. You can notice the paint job on that a lot more because there is such a difference. But because of Akaza, he's kind of like he's like this, not gray, it's like a greenish, grayish kind of color mixed with the blue kind of tattoos on him. You don't really notice that much. You have to get up close. And if you get up close, then you can notice, hey, the paint job ain't too great. There's just a lot of spots that, you know, obviously it could have been better. But when you look at from a natural distance, let's say I'm about a foot away. When you're looking at him like a foot away, you're not going to notice that detail. But when you try to get up close, you're obviously going to see parts of his paint job that is just subpar. It's subpar. There's no other way to really explain the paint job. It's just not that great. Even on the back of his kind of, man, what do you call this? Like a tank top? I don't know what you really call it. You kind of get the same kind of issues. Everything is just slightly off. It's just not perfectly aligned. There's a little bit more colors kind of mixed in together. But when you look at his face, though, his face looks like Akaza. I think it'd be very difficult for me to accept if they messed up his face, because I don't think his face would be that hard to kind of sculpt together. But yeah, his face looks good. I don't have any issues with the proportions. He looks like, you know, at natural proper proportions. Yeah, it's all in the detail. It's all in the paint job. It's all in the detail. But one little cool thing, I don't know if you guys really would care about that, but there are little veins popping out of his body. It's very, very subtle, but I do like the part where, you know, it's kind of that demonic kind of feel, that sense. When you add in those little bit of details of like little veins popping out and stuff, like, I kind of like that kind of thing, you know? But yeah, the paint job around his fists, his hands, because the fact that they had to paint the blue into that grayish, greenish, light greenish kind of color of his skin, you'll just notice the blue kind of bleed over. You guys are just gonna have to accept the fact that is just how these figures are gonna be. But the base and everything about this figure screams, hey, this is tight. When you look at it, you hold it, when you just look at the pictures in general, what you see is what I'm getting, you know. Sometimes it could be false advertisement. You know, they even say, hey, the prototype pictures, there might be slight variations from when you get the figure. And from what I can tell, there isn't much that I can notice right away that, hey, this looks, you know, significantly different from what I've seen from the pictures. But from what I'm getting, this is what I expected to get. You know, I accept the fact that, hey, you know, there's going to be some paint job errors. That's fine. You know, just don't expect good painting. You know, just don't expect it. And if it does come, you know, with a really good paint job, then dang, dude, must buy, you know. The fact that these figures have those special effects and add so much to the figure, it takes away all the little details that you might have issues with. The fact that there is so much going on, it doesn't take away from the overall presentation of the figure. When you look at him, dude, he looks awesome, man. He looks awesome. And this is a great pose. His face, it looks like Akaza. It looks like something that he would do. And it's kind of like his demeanor. This is like a typical how his demeanor of how he is when he's fighting Rengoku. You know, here you have Rengoku here with a serious face, you know, fighting his fighting his eyes out and putting his life on the line. And here you have this demon just having fun, you know, fighting him. And that is the look and that's the feel you get from this figure. So that's why I really, out of all the Akaza figures, there's a reason why I bought this one. It's because he just looks cooler. You know, there's just more going on. They get his face right, which is really important. The base and the face, those are things that are great. The sculpting, the body, the proportions of his body is good. The only thing is just the paint job, man. And his size, the fact that he is at a pretty decent size, he's like 7 foot tall. But with the Rengoku figure, he's a little bit he's longer, you know, lengthwise. Same thing with that last figure. If you guys don't care too much about the paint job, then this figure might be for you. I would recommend this more because the Rengoku has a lot more options and a lot better quality options. That's why I kind of hesitate to say, hey, buy this Rengoku figure. The pose looks great, but the quality, you know, that there are better options. With the Akaza one, you know, there isn't going to be, as of right now, that many good options. And the options that are coming out, like the Aniplex Death Compass one, I keep pointing to that one because, you know, I'm in the market for scale figures. I want the scale figure. And I want the dynamic pose. I want it to be like a statue. I want it to have a cool base. And so that one is kind of like, oh man, I just wish, you know, they did that. They did something with like this Figure Art Zero figure. If they added these rock formations or whatever around that Death Compass or something, you know, if they added more to it, like have him on the Death Compass and put the rocks like around him or something, or just something exploding. I don't know, man. Just I wish they did something cooler with his figure. So it's just kind of a letdown. So that's what led me to buy this Figure Art Zero figure. And you know, I really don't want to buy Figure Art Zero figures because I know that there are going to be better options out. You know, still it's going to cost me more, but I'm more willing to buy those kind of figures for that better quality. But for you guys that are in the market for, hey man, you're more casual, you're like, hey, I don't need those extra detailed parts. Does he look like the character? Yeah, he looks like the character. Is he doing something cool? How's his pose? Is his pose cool? Yes, it's dope, it's tight, you know. His base, like, man, are they gonna make an Akaza figure with this dynamic of a pose with a base like this? Are they? You know, it's hard to tell. It's hard to know. We might have to wait like 2 more seasons, 3 more seasons, however much longer they're gonna make Demon Slayer before, you know, we see Akaza again fighting and putting him in a really cool pose. So this, man, dude, just me thinking about this and just knowing how the series ends and what he does in the future, man, we are 4 or 5 years away, maybe, you know? So this might be the best one with a dynamic pose, with a dynamic base that we could get right now. And I'm okay with holding him. Like, he's under 75, 76 bucks. That's cool. But if there is another figure coming out, maybe I do end up liking the Aniplex Death Compass more. Like, that is the exact figure that I would want. That's why I'm actually buying the Vibration Stars, if you guys can even believe that. Like, why am I buying like a prize figure, you know, kind of a deal? But that stance of him is just so iconic to me with that fight against Kyojuro. It's just I need to have something of him that's doing that pose. So Vibration Stars, 25 bucks. $30 compared to this $260 scale if I buy it off of a US retail store of him just doing that same stance with that little depth compass little base. Man, it's I don't feel too great about buying that figure if that's all that's going on with the figure. So, man, once again, I have to settle. This is a figure that I'm settling for. It's a figure that, hey, if there's anything that's good out there for him right now, this might be the best option for the best bang for your buck, for the best pose for the dollar. What's the word? What's the comparison I'm looking for? You know, in fighting, they use a pound for pound, you know. In fighting, like, oh, Floyd Mayweather, he's the best pound for pound fighter, boxer, whatever, right? But obviously, if Floyd Mayweather fought in heavyweight, he's going to get beat up. But it's the same thing, that kind of logic that you should be applying, that I'm applying to a figure like this. Pound for pound against all his other figures, this might be the best one out there. And if this turned out to be a 1/8 scale, a 1/6 scale of this figure with better detail and quality, I'll be happy to pay the $250, price point for that. And this is what I kind of don't get about Figuarts Zero 2. It's like, I understand the market, like that under $100 market for the Figuarts Zero figures. It's very affordable. It reaches probably, they could probably make max profit for these figures. This is why they probably make it, But if they decide to do a higher end, if Bandai or whatever decided to do, get in the game of making bigger figures with better detailed, if they just made that version of this one like that, yeah, buy the crap out of that figure. But their target market is broader, The more people you can sell to, and it's kind of probably that maximum price point to where you can maximize profits, make the most money, keep as much people happy as possible while getting something that looks cool. It might not be, the best detail, but it's still really cool. So I totally get it from a more business standpoint. Obviously, I don't work there. I don't know nothing about how they kind of come up with these figures to sell and those price points. But those are things and points that are logical to me if I was the one selling these figures, from a company perspective. So yeah, a recommendation, like most things, like these things are very subjective. Some things aren't that subjective. Like obviously the paint job is bad. Yeah, that is more objective to me. Sometimes people, maybe they don't care about the face as much, or the face doesn't bother them as much. For me, if it's like too negative, if it's just terrible, or if the face is a main part of the sell point of a figure, then yeah, it's gonna bother me. So these things can be very subjective, but at the same time, some things are just objective, like a paint job. So yeah, I recommend this figure? I do. And it's the fact that this is the best one that I think that you can get of him compared to all his other versions of him. I still like him. I still like him. He's very affordable. And I don't think Akaza would be anyone's favorite character. So buying this one is probably in most people's wheelhouse. I'm not sure how many wow, man, when you mention Demon Slayer, who's going to mention Akaza as their favorite character, There's not going to be that many people. So that's why you're not going to have that much saturation of his figures out there. So like the Rengoku figure, you have a crap ton more options out there, and deservingly so. But the Akaza one, if there's one to get, it would be this one. But I'm keeping my eyes peeled for future figures of him coming out. So if you guys don't want to get this one, I would just have to keep waiting. I would just tell you guys, hey, you're just gonna have to wait it out. Maybe a couple seasons down the line, 2, 3, 4 seasons down the line, when he comes back and be a major contributor to the show, there's gonna be way more. I'm telling you guys, there's gonna be way better poses, way better options, and hopefully who knows, there might be a resin figure that comes out, and I might be hopping all up on that. Yeah, so all in all, guys, paint job, obviously you get what you pay for, but the pose, I love the pose. The face, he looks like him. When you look at him, you get the feel of who he is as a character, a guy that's, you know, wants to fight. Hey, Kyojuro, join me, become a demon. Hey, you know, we could just practice fighting forever and ever for eons, right? That's what you get in this figure. That's what you're getting in the feel of the character. They get that right. He is Akaza. His smile and everything, and him loving to fight and trying to convince Rengoku to be a demon. This is him. This is him. For those people, for any casual fan of Demon Slayer, or if you're looking for a Demon Slayer, a figure of Akaza, if there's anything out there that I personally like and that I would recommend that you want to get right now, if you want to get him right now, it would be this one right here. Even more than the Compass Needle one, even more than all the other ones that I've seen. If for some reason you're trying to decide between the Rengoku figure and this Akaza one, no questions asked, get the Akaza one. Out of these two, get the Akaza one, because the Rengoku figure, there are better options. But the thing with this Rengoku figure is why I got him. It's the fact that you could change his faceplate, and his face, you get the damaged face look. So that was very, very important to me. So, and I didn't want to buy the freeing one like I mentioned in the other video. I'm starting to think in tiers, you know, of my favorite like kind of figures and how I kind of see them. Like Figure Art Zero is going to be in that lower to mid tier. It's never going to reach that high end tier of what I think of figures, because the quality will never reach that point. Those are only the figures that are like $200 and more are going to be able to reach that point, because the detail is not there. But there's nothing wrong with being that lower to mid tier. And that's what I think where these figures kind of are at. It's affordable. It still looks cool. You're not going to get these special effects with these figures like in many other places besides the Figure Art Zero line. So let's be real here of what we can get. I think the quality for the price makes sense. I still like it. I recommend it to people, again, for those reasons I mentioned earlier. So yeah, I don't really have much else to say. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. I really appreciate it. I forgot to mention, I'm over 100 subscribers right now, so I'm very happy for that. I just made a video of all the upcoming figures that I'm supposed to be getting in April. I'm gonna try to do videos like that as a monthly kind of deal. So I'll try to find ways to make those videos a lot more compelling, a lot more exciting than, hey, yo, this is what I'm getting, this is where you get it from, and then just doing that. That is the bare minimum that I'm going to do for those videos. I really want to make those videos a lot better. But yeah, I appreciate you guys getting me to over 100 subscribers. I hope these videos help. I do my best to answer, and you know, sometimes, you know, I slip up, I make some mistakes. I am more than happy to say I'm wrong. I'm more than happy to admit to my mistakes. I'm more than happy to just do better as a person. So yeah, like the video, subscribe to the channel, go to my blog at otakusen.com. Anything I missed in the video and any updates that are needed for the figures or anything, I will update it on that blog at otakusen.com. And I also cover anime, any anime I watch. I'm probably going to do a review or episode review over it and give you my own analysis of it, so you guys kind of get an insight into how I kind of see anime, why I collect these figures, what they mean to me, and how I kind of see, you know, anime in my opinion. So hopefully that kind of vibes with you guys, that you guys is something you guys can connect with. I have some, you know, controversial opinions. At the same time, maybe you guys kind of feel where I'm coming from with a lot of this anime stuff, with a lot of the just anime in general. So yeah, like the video, subscribe to the channel, go to my blog otakusen.com. I have a bunch of other unboxing videos and reviews, so go ahead and check out anything else in my collection, and check out, if you guys want to see what other stuff I'm getting for this month of April, go check out that video as well. I left all the links that you would need in that. I appreciate it. Again, thank you so much. I'll try to figure out something that I can do to show my appreciation. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you.